Hello everyone, welcome to Programming Cradle. Today in this video we'll discuss about career gap. I personally have more than a year of career gap as of now, and by the time I will join the university for my masters, I will have a career gap of approximately 2 years. So I was worried about my career gap, so I tried talking to multiple people because I was thinking if I apply to some of the good universities, probably I won't get admit because of my career gap. So I tried talking to so many people, and I got to know about some of the very interesting insights, and that's what I would like to share in this video. And this will work fairly well for people who wants to go for job as well, because these are basically some of the reasons that you can use to validate your gap. What it can be, how much ever a gap, it can be 1 year of gap or maybe 2 years of gap. So year doesn't matter. Of course it will go, if it goes more than 3 or 4 years of gap, it might affect your resume or maybe your profile. But if you have a career gap of around 1 to 2 years or maybe 2.5 years, that would be fine. So yeah, that's exactly what I will discuss in this video. And also probably for people who wants to go for masters, they will have better chances of explaining their career gap, because they will have to write SOP, and again they will have to submit their resume as well. So on your SOP you can explain about why you took a gap and what all you did in your gap, so you can do that. But in case of a job, you have CV, but also you can attach a cover letter, and on that cover letter you can explain about all those things. So in job also you have all these things, but the thing is your resume should get shortlisted. So if you want to optimize the resume, you can always check out this video after this video. So using that tool, you can always develop your resume, or you can optimize your resume as per the job requirements. So now with that being said, I will start the discussion. But also, as always, if you are new here or if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go subscribe to the channel and be a part of Programming Cradle family, and also hit that bell icon so that you get notified each time when a video goes live. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It keeps me motivated to make such videos for you guys. And always you can let me know your thoughts, or if you have some query, you can post it in the comment section. I will try to answer that to the best of my knowledge. Now with that being said, let's start our discussion. So the first thing is, you took gap because you wanted to take care of your family member, maybe your mother, father, or anybody. So maybe they were ill or something like that, and you took gap because you weren't able to focus properly on your work. So you had to take a break and take care of your parents, and now that they are fine, you can go back to your work. So you can clearly tell that, and usually employers understand this, because when I was in Infosys, there was a guy and he had 2.5 years of gap. And usually what happened there was, when some new people joined the team, there was an icebreaker session. So people asked about his past experience, and he told that he has a gap of 2.5 years. People were like, how did you manage to give justification for your gap? So he told that my mom was ill, so I had to take care of her, and I told frankly to the interviewer, and they were willing to understand, and they actually understood. So yeah, he told. But also he was really good with his programming skills and all the big data technologies. I was a part of big data team, so he was really good with all those skills. So of course, if you have a career gap, but if you have reason like he told, to that won't alone justify your gap. You have to be very much good with your skills, because if someone is there who doesn't have career gap and he is somewhat less than you in terms of skill, probably the interviewer will pick the other candidate without any gap, because he or she will be in a continuation of the mindset that they're working. And if somebody is coming from a gap, they probably have a different mindset. So that is the thing. That's why you need to develop your skills to the greater extent, and that is the thing which can save you from the career gap. And of course you can tell the truth, because it's life, it can happen anytime. Yeah, right. Now with that, let's move on to our next point. which is getting certifications. So yeah, when you are ideal at your home, what you can do is you can take some certification. Like maybe you took gap because you wanted to prepare for some examination like MBA, or maybe you wanted to go for UPSC or any government exam. So maybe you took gap for that, but because of some reasons you couldn't crack the exam, so now you are deciding to go for job again. So what you can do is you can do some certifications and take the courses where you will have certainty that you will get a certificate, because there are some courses where it is really hard to get the certificate. So of course you will learn quite a lot of things, but probably you won't get certificate, but then in that case you won't be able to show that you were doing something in that time. So do some courses where it is certain that you will get the certificate. And Coursera is a good place, and Udemy will also work. But on Udemy, don't take some 2 or 3 hours of course, take at least 25 to 30 or maybe 40 hours course. That will have more weightage to your profile. So if you do those courses, at least you will have something to show that you have done something, you were not sitting idle. Because probably if you tell them that you were preparing for government exams and you took a whole gap and you didn't work and still you couldn't crack, maybe it will have a bad impact on your profile. So you can't actually tell that. Up to some extent you can tell them that yeah, I was preparing for that, I got so and so rank, but I wasn't, then at the end of the day I wasn't interested in going for their jobs, and I thought why not again switch back to my old job because I like that. So you can tell that, but with that you need to have some certificate, because you need to show that you did something and you didn't just sit idle and you have come for the interview. So you can do certifications, it will again improve your profile. But also certificates are not everything, and nowadays certificates value is going lower and lower. So what you can do is, if your family has some business, it can be anything. If you have a grocery store or if you have a clothing store, anything, you can tell the interviewer that you were working there or you were part of that business, or you can say that the business was going down, so you had to take care of that business because that is the main source of income for whole family. So you went there and you took all the data, you analyzed it, and you read the data and you analyzed which product is doing well in which month, and based on that you provided some offers and that increased your sales and you doubled your sales and your profits were going high. So you can tell all those things, and this will give the interviewer an idea that yes, you are actually into data and you know how to analyze data. But don't fake it, try to actually analyze the data. And if you don't have data, try to understand the actual business, what is the whole process and what you can think about it to optimize it even more. So do like that, because if you try to fake in the interview, they will get it, and that is probably the worst thing that can happen to you. So do not fake it, try to analyze the data or the business model, and then try to optimize it, and that is something which you can take it as your project and you can show it to the interviewer. And nowadays from all the fields we have data. If your father or your family is in agriculture, you can find data on agriculture. If your family is in medical field, you can find data on medical field, or if they are in logistic, you can find data on logistic as well. So what you can do is pick data from something which you already know, which you already have domain knowledge of. So, and if you don't have domain knowledge, you can always ask your family member about the domain thing, and you can feature some new you can make some new features, and based on that you can make some analysis. So this is something which you can do, and this will improve your profile to a very greater extent, and it will also increase your resume to get shortlisted. Now with that, let's move on to our next point, which is do not write the end date. And what do I mean by end date is, let's say you started working in company XYZ in 2018 and you left that company in 2019. So you write 2018 to 2019, and then you joined some company in 2019, let's say ABC, and you left it in 2020. So you will write 19 to 20. So don't write those end dates. And from 2020, let's say May 2020, you didn't work and you have a gap till now, and now you are again trying to apply. Don't write those end dates. Okay, so it is not cheating to as per me, because lying about something and hiding something, they are a completely different thing. You are not actually lying to them, you are simply hiding the information, right? And if they are not able to pick that, that's their mistake, right? I'm just trying to help you. It's not like if it is ethically correct or not. If you want to opt for that, that's good. If you don't want, that is also fine. There's nothing wrong in that. So yeah, you can just skip that end date. And when your resume will get shortlisted, anyways, you will have opportunity to explain yourself why you have a gap or whatever amount of gap you have. You can explain them that at that time, because when you apply for the job and if your resume get rejected in the first place, you won't have the opportunity to explain your experience or your gap, and if you won't be able to experience, or maybe you had some valid point and your resume got rejected because you had those end dates, just because of those dates you won't get opportunity to explain yourself. So why write those things? So yeah. And the last thing can be internship, because getting internship can be easier than getting a job. So what you can do is, if you are applying for jobs, parallelly you can apply for internships as well. If you get offered from for some full-time job, that is well and good, but if you don't get, and if you are getting some internship, you can always go for that. You will gain some experience and your gap will break there, and maybe that internship will turn into your full-time job. And if not, at least you will have to show the future employer that you have worked for some time. So always you can target for internships as well. And internships are very good to learn things, and it will give you a real-time experience. So yeah, you can try for internships as well. So yeah, these were the points that I wanted to discuss in this video. And also all the points were very, it might have sounded like these points were very targeted to jobs, but I didn't make it very centric to the universities, because like I told you, I had the freedom to write SOP, and in my SOP I was able to explain and justify my gap. Like, I left company, I left my job because I wanted to do masters, so I prepared for GATE. I took GATE exam, and I took applied AI course. I am also working on my own project. So I told all these things in my SOP, and yeah, I actually got offer from some of the good universities. These universities are ranked in top 150 universities in the world. So yeah, they are good universities. So yeah, I think I was able to justify my gap and my experience, and they were happy with that, and they were happy with my profile. That's why they gave me admission. So yeah, this is what I want to discuss in this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can download data science notes from the link in the description. It will help you to learn data science much faster. And also you can join our Telegram group, where we have over 800 people and everybody is helping each other. And I'm thinking something to do in that group. I'm not sure when, but yeah, I have something in my mind, probably within 2 to 3 months maybe. So yeah, you can join Telegram group. Also you can subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and also turn on the notification by clicking on that bell icon. And what else? See you in the next video. Bye. Happy learning.